Hey, so Who's Got Two Thumbs is a web dev and is kind of stressing out about the internet. So I'm pretty much sure you've heard about YouTube trying to enforce age verification through AI and all of that genuinely cool stuff. And I want to talk about the next possible step that I saw when browsing Reddit. Yes, I know I'm a Sonic YouTuber and Redditor. Truly, I'm lost to us all. So I've learned about this recently, but it's apparently been an ongoing thing. There's a German press group known as Axel Springer, I hope I'm saying this correctly, that has been in a legal battle against a notably adblock plus for 10 fucking years, ever since 2015, to try and make ad blockers illegal. I can't do this anymore. I can pretend like everything is fine, honestly. This is messed up. Privacy is really under danger on the internet nowadays. It has always been under threat, but I feel like it's gotten way much worse. And this is talking about something that happened 10 years ago, and I feel like 10 years ago was already so much better than it is now, 15 years ago even more. Of course, the internet was gonna grow big, and I don't know if I can say this without I'm not gonna say backlash, nobody's gonna see this fucking video. But without people disagreeing with me, I kind of regret the internet becoming mainstream because, boy, this thing that was supposed to be a second or third place for news, the voice of the people, a way for us all to band together and talk despite the differences in location, origins, etc. People just hang out with each other anyway, and we're getting control news anyway through algorithms and such. And now we're gonna get policed anyway, which makes me feel pretty insane because I'm sure that wasn't in the original mission statement. At least it was not how it was pitched to me, and I'm pretty upset about that. Now you might be wondering, is there a really legal ground for ad blockers to be blocked in Germany and maybe in Europe? Is there something to be afraid of if something were to happen in Germany? I'm gonna answer that second one first. Yes, because if something happens in Germany, and let's say they actually win their trial, it gets appealed, no, they still win, it becomes a legal precedent, it will become a legal precedent in Germany first, but it will also become one in Europe. And if something happens like at that scope in Europe, everyone is involved now. You pretty much saw this with cookie walls. The European Union is big enough that if it makes legislation, everyone gets impacted because websites, if they can help it, don't want to have a two-code base. And if you say to websites, you can snitch people using ad blockers, you can enforce people not using ad blockers in any way, they're not gonna complain about it, man. They're really not. They really have no reason to sidestep this and be like, I want my customers in America or in Asia to be able to use ad blocks and not give me my pennies. So yeah, it will be important. Obviously, it's not an automatic thing. It's not like, oh, this has happened in Germany. It will, in a month's time in Europe, it will be banned too. But it will lead to that. So some people are definitely looking at this with great hopes and possibly a huge sack of money. And the first one is, do they actually have a chance? And I think that's both the most important part and the one where I'm not qualified to speak on. I can talk about the technical aspect, even though it's probably something that everyone with half a brain could talk about. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Fuck it, this is my channel. Why are you being mean to me? So, as you can guess from the fact that this has been an ongoing legal battle for 10 years, they have not met a lot of success. However, the federal court put into question their previous judgment. They said it was not reason enough by itself to be final. And notably, what they say is that according to the Federal Court of Germany, HTML code that is generated when a web page is displayed cannot be excluded from copyright. What are you fucking talking about? I don't know if it's a translation sucking ass because I'm reading this in French and then I'm translating it over to you in English. I did the most I could to be accurate, but they did specifically say the HTML code generated when a web page is displayed, when it is in your browser. At this point, you have a copy of the web page. You don't have the original source code, especially since two things about this. First off, whatever you do to that web page, be it with your browser's plugins, or by right-clicking and going on inspect element, or by fucking downloading the web page to begin with, it will only affect that copy that is in your RAM or the copy that you've downloaded that is in your hard drive. It cannot affect the source material. If I buy a book, if I buy fucking Harry Potter, And I'm like, Harry is a shitty ass name. He's now named Pete. Pete Potter. I love that. And I scratch every time it's written Harry Potter. And I write Pete instead. This is not an infringement on copyright. This is my copy. I'm allowed to scribble on it, damn it. I can't see how we would even make the argument that this is an infringement on copyright. This is insane, and this is bullshit. And they either have to know this is bullshit, this is made by like 80-year-old people that know nothing. And the second part that is really, really annoying me is, if you know nothing about how the web works, which is a growing problem in our society that is governed by the web more than it is governed by actual fucking living beings, you probably think that it is like the actual source code, the actual web page that is given. Technically, you're looking at the inner workings, modifying how the inner workings, whatever. It's like, I'm guessing the closest comparison you could take is, oh, you're making a mod to a game, You're modifying the source code, etc. This isn't even accurate for 90% of the web that you fucking browse on your cursed life, because no one serves static websites anymore. No one does that. I don't care if you use PHP, JavaScript, Ruby, .NET. You use something out there to generate a web page because you have a database to pull stuff from. You're doing some dynamic stuff. I don't fucking know what you're doing on your shitty website that has probably jQuery and Bootstrap or Tailwind or some bullshit like this. You're not giving to the browser the source code of the website. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It really does not. And from what I know, first off, they didn't have like an art stance, as they said. They just said that the previous judgment couldn't like completely slam dunk the case, basically. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be forbidden, like 100%. But it does mean that they have to basically restart the legal battling, which is funny to me. It's really funny to me. Of course, ads are always funny to talk about because no one likes them, but everyone likes having websites. And if you're not Wikipedia, you can't beg to people for donations, right? Even something that is genuinely lifting the world up, as Wikipedia, struggles and has to beg for days and days and days to get enough money just to run its service. So you can tell that ads are it's a bit like capitalism. Well, I wouldn't call it a necessary evil, but it is the necessary evil that we found for now. There's probably another necessary evil out there that could work better in some places and worse in some places. But yeah, this is my stance on it. And obviously websites need some funding, and everyone has their own breaking point. I know that for a long while I didn't mind watching YouTube with ads, and then they just fucking overdid it, and I had to do it. But ads are also a major privacy concern. To be profitable, ads need to be targeted, especially nowadays. And for that, you need cookies, you need cross-site tracking, you need a lot of very cool technology. One very simple is Google Analytics, which basically can record your every action on the website. Now, you probably won't see this. You're able to check with browser extensions, etc. But one very easy example I can give is that when you're on an e-commerce website, I can check you went to this product, then you hesitated, you went back to the category, then you decided to click on that part of the product page to go to another one. I can track every action that you did that led to either you giving up on your cart or that actually placing an order. Do you mind about that? I don't know. Do you mind people that know that sharing it with others for a price? I don't know. But I feel like you should have a say in this, at least. At the very least. We need to have a say in this. And I don't want Europe to fuck this up. Because say what you want about GDPR. I'm sure you hate cookie walls, etc. But it is important. It is very important that Europe uses its weight to actually protect our privacy, not do the opposite fucking thing. Even if you live in the US, it is important for you. Even if you live in other places in America, there's the whole ass North and Central and South America. If you live in Asia, in Australia, in Africa, I don't know where you live. But it is important for all of us that such a big market actually uses its way to protect us, because it will also protect you. Because again, if they go through all of this effort to put systems in place for Europe, they might as well just put in place for everyone. You can, as an American using European websites and people that often treat with Europe, you can use GDPR. You can use what they have in place for GDPR to protect your own data. It is important. And I just know with both the age verifications, moral panic about children on the internet, because it's 2025, none of what you're saying will actually protect children. It should be the parents, but this is a whole ass other topic. And with this, I'm seeing a big danger for privacy online. At some point, we're just gonna all fucking go to the dark web, and this is what's gonna happen. Either that, or I would really like to see an internet that is fully self-hosted by the people. I can dream, right? I'm allowed to dream. I would really like that. But I don't know if people really want to learn how all of this works and be a part of making it work. I think at this point, it's kind of asking for too much out of them. Aside from pressuring politicians to make sure they don't act too silly, I don't really know what are our options. Educating people, I guess? I would like to be part of that, but I feel like I have a small reach. Kind of screaming into the void here. But if we scream all into the void, maybe the collective echo will be loud enough. Please do read about this. Please do talk about this to people. Make sure they know. Especially if you're in Europe right now, keep an eye out. If you're elsewhere, what happens in one part of the world by wealthy people will happen in another place. Trust me, whenever someone tries a funny little stunt, you can be assured that some other wealthy guys are looking at this like, damn, I want that too. Let's see how they do and learn from it. So if you care about still having some facts about you have the possibilities to be hidden from people who want to max extract your own wealth back to them, we have to fight for this at some point. I'm sorry, it's a bit of a downer video, but I just wanted people to know about this because I think it's very important. See ya.